It's Friday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hi, Tope. Welcome to the show.
I like the idea. I like when I'm here. I'm always like the first day because
hi,
it makes it very, very special.
Yeah. What's up with you?
I'm good. I had a very, very interesting conversation with, like, sometimes as a speaker, when you're like, you feel like, in my mind, I feel like I'm a very, very, I'm such a guest speaker. So when some people invite me, I am reluctant that I know the value I deliver. I don't want the case when, you're talking to one person, two people, and I know some people like that. So I obliged this young woman, and we went on Facebook Live. And there were two of us in the live for like 30 minutes. And she was asking very important questions. And like I was like, am I throwing this gem away? But after the live, I just told myself that people would watch and they'll be blessed. But sometimes it is...
Oh, you mean for free?
Yes, it was free, okay. So it was a bit, I'm still conflicted within myself. Like, is it every platform you speak at? Because sometimes people will not look at you like, because when we are small, you do not respect us, or when we didn't have anything because you feel like you're big. So sometimes I just oblige. But sometimes when you now finish speaking, you feel there is because you've dropped a lot of value and you wish many people would hear, especially concerning people that have limiting mindsets concerning work. She asked a consistent lots of questions on that line. And I feel like what I shared with her was very important. But
just share it on your page so people can be blessed. Share it on your page. Just tell her to send you the link.
In that case, if I get invited and I know that you don't have the crowd to come, I tell you, you want people to listen to what we have, right? Yeah. Good, let's do it on my page. And afterwards, you can take it. Because I know that on my page, I'll get more people to benefit from it. Yeah, that's what you do.
And you got to see, once you I know how you feel. Once you drop that kind of meat, spread it. Because we don't want to learn. Listen, Nigerians,
that's on YouTube as well.
That's the best way to learn these days, audio, visuals. That's how, so people, when they see material that is good, they take it. So don't worry about it. People will get blessed. How are you doing, Bissy?
I'm doing great.
I love your hair.
Thank you.
And Auntie, what did she say?
No, she didn't say anything. So it's going to be a very busy weekend. My kids are resuming. So we need to make hair, pack clothes, get everything ready. They should have resumed last weekend, but I wasn't ready to release them yet. So I say people are going to stay home, do online for 1 week, but there's nothing I can do now. They have to go back to school. School learning has really started, and my son doesn't do well with online learning. He needs to go back to the physical class. So after this weekend, the house will be back to quiet.
That's so cool. In my house, all of us are now in school. My husband has engaged his master's program to hit his now.
Everybody is studying.
They're all students in my house now. Everybody has a laptop and sitting down. Everybody's talking to their teachers. So it's really exciting about
the new phase. And I love that.
It's an interesting phase, but it's good. Now the kids tell us, Daddy's doing his homework. Yeah, he's doing his homework.
It's not just mommy doing homework again. It's not just kids doing their homework. Everybody's doing something.
How you doing, Mariam?
I'm fine. Of course, the self-love challenge continues today. And for today, just make a list of all the things that you're thankful that your body can do. Just write a list of the things that your body does for you. And you're grateful for, and then refer to it often, to remind yourself.
That's cool.
But my daughter too has resumed like physical school. She found online schooling really difficult because she's a people person. She loves people. She loves to interact, and she's been so excited. But this morning she was saying to me, it's club day. She's so happy she's going to join her club, STEAM. So that's also STEM, like the science, tech, engineering, and math. I was like, no, I put you for public speaking. She was like, no. I put her public speaking because she quite likes to. She speaks well and everything. I thought to encourage. She was like, no, I want STEAM. I was so excited. I was like, thank God, she knows where the money is. No, but they're always encouraging our girls to go into STEM and learn things like. So I'm happy that she has interest in that.
Add an aid to it, to arts. Just there with science, it has some arts today. But it's good. I'm happy that the kids are doing well. So
how you doing?
How you doing? This weekend. There's no school this weekend, so I'm happy. So I'm going to try to find something constructive. I'm going to try to cook.
The kids are coming back to school. You need to...
On Monday, I know. We actually thought it was last Monday, so we're prepared.
Okay. Good.
This weekend, I want to try to cook
something.
Plenty. Seafood, okra. All sorts of, the animals from the sea. That photo too this weekend. So I'm really excited about that. But that's it. So let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Right, we're going to start with the nation. Governors take kidnapping, killing concern to Buhari. Picture here of all the northern state governors, especially Rufai, greeting the president. NEC dismisses Obaseki's 60 billion naira printing claim. NLNG gets 20 billion naira tax waiver. Nollywood actor arrested for serial rape of a minor. CGN justifies Johnson strike over autonomy. And House help steals 3,500 naira after killing her boss. Okay, which story are we taking? Should we start with the human interest story?
Let me take the human interest story. And House help, I know you assume it was a her, right? It's
a him. Yeah, it was a him.
Yes.
Oh,
his name is Emmanuel Akpan, and he allegedly killed his boss. The boss' name is Mrs. Febi Shola Caroline Adedayo. So they're in Ondo State, and she owns a canteen. And this Akpan took a cutlass while she was sleeping one day and killed her, and proceeded to steal 3,500 naira, her phone, some jewelry, as well as her generator. Thankfully, the police and detectives were able to trace him and his accomplice. So he says that there was a former employee of this lady called Goodness Akpan, who worked for her for 3 years, and then introduced Emmanuel to her. And even though Emmanuel is saying that they did this in collaboration with Goodness, Goodness says no, I just introduced him to her. After all, other people have come through me to work for her. He did it on his own. Anyway, both of them are in police custody. Really sad. Look at what he has killed a whole human being for, 3,500 naira and a generator.
Ignorance. So northern governors went to see the president, and many of them obviously had to share with him the horror stories of killings, of banditry, kidnapping within their state. And they went there seeking his help because all of them had similar stories. And obviously his response was somewhat similar, that they will double the efforts that they're making in the north to ensure that they go to the camps of these perpetrators and not allow them to come to the military base, because they've been doing that recently, where they've been killing many of our military soldiers. So, and that's pretty much it. And they're hoping that the president can actually support them.
Yeah, the governors, yes. So, Simeon Lalong, that's the head of the Northern Governors Forum, did not really give the details, but he said they were quite optimistic with the response that they got. The military, the presidency also launched a special military operation, especially in Zamfara. We heard the story of what happened in Zamfara. About 53 bodies were found. In Kaduna, 2 nurses were kidnapped. In Oyo State, a bus full, just so many stories across anyway.
Okay, let's talk about Jusun.
Yes, so the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Muhammad, had a meeting with the Jusun, that's the Union of Judiciary Workers, Judicial Staff Workers. And the meeting was a way to dissuade them from the ongoing strike. But after all of the deliberations, he realized that he supported the strike, saying that they can actually go as far as they want, because this is more like a fight for justice. Until the governors put their heads together to begin implementation, they will not let go. And but they promised to have another meeting where they are going to weigh all the pros and cons and see what is going to happen.
There's a story that's nowhere else, the IMF story. So the Nigeria as a country has exceeded 30% deposits of dollars into our account, which is like the threshold. We've not passed this before, but between last year, many Nigerians, because of the volatility of our naira, have converted our savings into dollars. So Nigerians have deposited more of dollars than naira into their accounts to save. This is not stable. It doesn't aid the country's stability. Crude oil has dropped. The economic crisis that we have cannot be dependent on us depending on dollars. They also said that it is illegal for any business in Nigeria to charge in dollars for their services. And so if you cannot buy dollars from Nigeria, you can't buy dollars officially at the official exchange rate to pay for services within Nigeria in dollars. It is wrong. It affects our economy negatively.
There are schools that collect their monies in dollars. So what happens to that now?
In Nigeria is wrong.
In Nigeria.
So they can be reported. Moving on now to the Punch. Governors beg FG to postpone the $2.1 billion support repayment. CBN kicks. Picture here of the late comrade Odumaki, Gbajabiamila Sanwo-Olu Adebanjo, others extol him and his virtues. How CCTVs facilitated Nollywood actor Baba Ijesha's arrest for defiling a minor. Nigeria desperately needs investments to recover, says NESG. Stakeholders back Senate's move to upgrade Yaba Tech and Ilaro Poly universities. Masob rejects UK asylum offer, says his ploy is to stop Biafra. And Nigeria fears arms influx over Idris Debe's death. Okay, go ahead, BC.
The major story. So the state governors on Thursday at the monthly meeting of the National Economic Council appealed to the federal government to postpone the repayment of the 2.1 billion budget support facility to states, which was supposed to resume in May. So they had, because of the low IGR in the different states, they've been receiving funds from the federal government on more like a loan, and they're supposed to have started repayments from the month of May. But they are saying that the federal government should understand that they are really not generating much in terms of internal IGR, and they need to be given more time to be able to pay back the loan. But the CBN governor is saying that this will not be possible. It's going to have a lot of technical issues that would affect the economy as a whole. So they are going to have another meeting where I think the vice president is going to be chairing this meeting so that they can, have deliberations and see if they are going to resume, accepting the repayment in May, or they are going to extend it a bit more. So at the end of the day,
so the Minister for Defense on Thursday also was speaking about the repercussions of what the death of the President of Chad would cause concerning the fight against insurgency and terrorism. He says Chad, in collaboration with countries like Cameroon, Niger, they had it under the body called Multinational Joint Task Force. So they are fighting it together, and they're able to stop infiltration of weapons from Libya, at least from that Chad side. But with the death of the president, they are unsure where Chad would face now concerning this. But they are hoping that very soon they'll find a secure way to stop, to continue to fight this war and also stop infiltration of illegal arms into the rest of West African
Yesterday
countries.
was the lying-in state of Yinka Odumaki. I watched it yesterday. It was a very, very emotional moment. I was very happy that the turnout of dignitaries to extol what he stood for, and the statement kept going that his values would live on, his ideology would live on, and everybody kept talking about how he fought for democracy, how he spoke up against injustice. And I think that we sometimes use political affiliations to sort of like take away from what he actually stood for right from time, as well as his wife. And I'm happy that that was really
I was reading part of the remarks from Famfe Falanan. He was saying that back in 1988, during the convocation at the University of Ife, where he had led a protest against the recolonization of the country by imperialism. And then my dad sent him, because he was working with my dad at the time, sent him to go and defend him, because they actually expelled them from the University of Ife at the time. Wow. And he was able to win the case, and then the court in Oyo was able to reverse that and get them reinstated in the university. So he's been there since back in the day, fighting for justice and making sure that, but at some point he then chose to stay in the ethnic part of the Afenifere. But either way, he's many things to different people, according to Governor Sanwo-Olu. He was many things to different people. And one thing's to sure, he was consistent. Yes. All right, we have to go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll move on to the next papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to continue with the Vanguard. Insecurity, our nation is bleeding now, says Defense Minister. Gridlock, Sanwo-Olu looks on as trucks take over Apapa. Buhari's government stands behind Pantami, says presidency. Police Amoteku mom as gunmen kidnap 18 passengers in Ibarakpa. Olu of Warri stole. Okowa sues for peace. Urges aggrieved persons to sheath their swords. World leaders arrive for Debbie's burial. And no money was printed to show up for March allocation, says NEC. All right.
Before we go into Vanguard, I wanted to take a story about my alma mater in Punch. So the stakeholders back Senate's move to upgrade Yabatek and Polytechnic of Ilaro into universities of technology. This was the Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions and Tech Fund on Thursday hailed the move by the Red Chamber to upgrade Yabatek into universities of technology, and we're waiting to see the full implementation. I think it's about time.
Congratulations.
Okay, so Olu of Warri, who has that?
Yes, so the Governor Ifeanyi Okowa of Delta State hosted the council, Olu of Warri Advisory Council in Asaba, and he has appealed to them that the warring factions concerning the new, the departed Olu and the new one that's about to be installed should sheath their swords and ensure that they work in one accord for the greater good of the people of not just Warri, but Delta State as well. And he also said that the departed Olu was a man of peace, an epitome of peace, and he set very good examples that everyone should look towards, working with, so that we need to come together. And he says, I pray to God to lead the Shekiri nation through these trying times, even as we work towards giving the departed king befitting burial rites, and we also look forward to presentation of the new king. So he sent his congratulations to the new king-elect as well.
So the FEC meeting yesterday, where there was a bit of back and forth concerning this printing of money to show up, and the vice president at this FEC meeting, presided on by the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, he clarified the fact that, it was clarified that there was no printing of money to show up the March 2021 allocation, and that we should lay that to rest. Most of the governors were there, the FCT minister was there, and it was like, this is the situation on ground. So those that are still confused, they say they did not print the money. Can we move on?
Okay. So I have the defense minister's story. Let me see if I can get that story out. So he was saying that our country is bleeding. That in a nutshell, I think he was trying to remind Nigerians that what we see today is an orchestration of many of our political elites. And let me read exactly what he said. He said, make no mistake about it, our nation is bleeding now. It is bleeding because of the self-interest and other primordial considerations underlying decisions which quite a number of our elites, the political, ethnic, and religious people, make so. So he's saying that, and in addition to that, he's saying that the government is going to double their efforts to ensure that they defeat Boko Haram and all the other insurgents from where they're coming from, and that he also warned that the death of the Chadian leader has its own security implications. That,
so they're preparing us.
So we also, yes, we should also be careful going forward. I mean, so,
the security was also mentioned
speaking
during the FEC meeting, and the statement was all the governors agreed that regardless of all the insecurity challenges going on nationwide, Nigeria is going to remain one, and the unity of Nigeria is not going to be discussed. Because, there are many fractions calling for one form of secession or the other, and they're saying we are one, we'll fight this insecurity challenge together.
Okay. Moving on now to Daily Sun. FG beefs of security over military coup in Chad. Adebanjo, Obi, Adams, others insist on true federalism. Sanwo-Olu unveils 5-year roadmap for food security in Lagos. Army vindicating UK asylum for IPOB. MASOB member says Ohaneze. Judicial autonomy, we won't suspend strike, Josuna tells CJN. And white people are resorting to self-help in Southeast, says Umahi. Okay, which story? Governor Sanwo-Olu has that story.
Okay, so the governor of Lagos State has pledged to provide the infrastructure that is needed to ensure food security and sufficiency in the state. And this was done at the launch of the Lagos State 5-year Agricultural and Food Systems Roadmap 2021 to 2025. I like what the Commissioner for Agriculture said.
A woman?
Yes, she is a woman. She says the roadmap focused on scope and development of agricultural value chains where the state has competitive and comparative advantages in order to ensure its self-sufficiency in food production from 20 to 40% in the next 5 years.
So currently, they say we are about 18 to 20%, and the target is that we'll get
in 5 years.
Yes, like 40 to 53%. And the 3D images of what they want to achieve looks very, very good.
Cool.
My appeal is when government changes, and we know government might change, can we stick to this policy, because this looks really, really good. They had like a food, the Ruga kind of like what's the word, that
the ranching?
A ranching prototype that looked really, really good. These are good ideas that we need to follow through with the timeline.
Well, Lagos had a 25-year blueprint that somebody tried to disrupt at some point, but if we can stick to this plan, hopefully, so I mean, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum and governor of Ebonyi State, David Umahi, yesterday said the people from the Southeast accepted the Eastern Security Network because the conventional security agencies that were supposed to protect them failed. So they saw the ESN and they accepted it. And also he said that he knows that the ESN, that IPOB, remains outlawed, but it will be unfair to, attribute all the killings that are happening in that state to IPOB, saying that these people are actually working to, protect the lives of their citizens. And the government needs to do more in terms of fishing out the criminal elements, because according to him, they are likely hiding under IPOB to commit all of those offenses. So the government needs to show that they can fish out those criminal elements and not just blame it on one.
Okay, our final paper this one is the Nigerian Tribune. We'll take 3 stories from there. Buhari's government stands gidigba behind Pantami. They need to put gidigba.
You added it.
Child stealing. I made 800,000 naira selling babies, says suspect. Reps to probe alleged trade in human organs put at $1.2 billion annually. And Lagos targets $10 billion investment in Agric in the next 5 years. Pantami, who has that story? Okay.
It's you.
Oh, okay.
It's you now.
It's you.
So, Garba Shehu said quite a bit. And he's saying that Pantami, the presidency is standing by Pantami, saying that his utterances, as I said, happened many years ago, and he has since apologized that these people, and I'm paraphrasing now, the people who
let me know.
you have a specific quote?
Yes, the administration stands behind Minister Pantami, and all Nigerian citizens should ensure they receive fair treatment, fair prices, and fair protection in ICT. All the senior Nigerians should know that this manufactured dispute is nothing to do with the minister's prior words, but solely concerning his actions in the present.
Yeah.
And
so that brings up 2 issues, which we'll probably like to discuss later. But let's take the other human interest, which is quite interesting. What happened with the child stealing?
Yes, so this couple, they've been in a relationship together. And according to, because they have been caught by the operatives of the Ondo State Police Command, they've been involved in selling children, selling babies. So they get the babies from their mothers and go to a place in Imo State and sell off those babies for about 300,000 naira. So they've sold, according to the story, they've sold about 800K from the business. Now, the lady in her confession said she was lured into the business by her boyfriend, and she sold her own baby because she is a divorcee. So the baby she had from her first marriage, she was led to sell it, and so far they've been selling other babies. The man in question said he was lured into it by one Mr. John, and they've been doing this business for a while. So they have been arrested right now. And I just want to appeal that, so we talked about adoption yesterday. And a lot of people do not want to go the way of adoption. They don't want to go the legal way to get their babies. So they resort to buying these babies from, and they are aiding that criminal market.
Right. Okay, we have to
take the House of Reps. They're saying that they are going to look into this business of selling of human organs. So because of the stories just seem, everywhere. And they said recently, of course, because anonymous sources had tipped off the Chinese authorities, and they were able to seize a cargo ship that had sailed from Nigeria with 7,200 unrefrigerated penises.
Oh.
Yes. And these body parts were found in 36 boxes labeled plantain on the ship and harbored at the Shanghai port. And it's called, during the market where they do all this, is called the red market. The government is also saying that this thing brings about 1.2, is about 1.2 billion, 600 million to 1.2 billion annually that is made from this.
Wow.
So the members of House of Reps are saying, because of all that's happening, you know, the banditry, the killing, many of these communities are even more vulnerable to people coming to do this. You know, and that the way this thing is taken out can only be done by surgeons. So it's done by maybe well-educated people, but also in collaboration with...
I don't think we've heard that before. I mean, I know the Oba Iwo of Iwo, Oba Iwo of Iwo,
yes,
has Oluwo of Iwo, yes, that's it. Oba Oluwo of Iwo has been actually talking about this body parts business for a long time. And I think it's time for us to further investigate it, because I don't know how... In Nigeria, we've not heard of missing penises.
Yeah.
I don't think
We've heard of many dead people.
Yeah, people are, they kill them. People are dead. People go missing.
When you see 52 bodies,
you can't be checking for penises.
Whether the penis is there. And then you see frozen penis going abroad. Obviously.
All right, let's go. That's all we can take. When we come back, this is a topic we're talking about on a different level. We will come back. When we come back, we're going to talk about how do we relax in this country, in this nation, where we have so many issues. We have our guests sharing with us various techniques we can learn to relax our muscles and the mind. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So joining us on the show to talk about strong mind as a basis for good health and success is Akshay Jain, the Director, Art of Living in Nigeria. Welcome to the show. Good to have you.
Welcome to the show.
You see, it's so important for us to have a conversation with you today, because many of us have had issues with building our mind in this times. You know, we've just had a pandemic, many lost their businesses, we're hearing of suicide, homes are breaking up, and people are frustrated economically, physically, and all that. So in your work, how do you help people to begin to rebuild the broken pieces of their mind?
Right. See, this is, it's just that during the last 1.5 years, we've had really big impact all over the world with this pandemic. But, you know, everybody goes through ups and downs in life, and we find a way to deal with it. And I think what guides us is the state of mind. So if we have a calm and quiet mind, a peaceful mind, you are able to accommodate the outside and deal with it. But the moment you are feverish, the moment you're agitated, you go in a state of not response, but you react to situation. And when you do that, when your mind is not stable, your action is also not right. See, for example, if you're angry, can you take the right decision? No, right? You're already overpowered by emotions. So how to have stable emotions, equanimity in mind, will guide you in the right direction.
So I understand that there's this thing they say, mind over matter.
Yeah.
That if you have control of your mind, you will be able to affect everything that happens around you physically.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to navigate in peace, even in the midst of the turmoil. But a lot of people, because of the way, especially in this part of the world, the way we live, the way we hurry out of work and everything, how does one have a calm state of mind? What are some of the things you think we can begin to do in order to give us that peace from the inside?
So, you know, you said mind over matter. So we say, if you don't mind, it doesn't matter. So it's an important thing to understand. The first step is to recognize that I am not in control of my mind, right? And the journey starts from there. Then you want to do something about it, right? And so the question is how to make it peaceful, how to get more control on mind. And I think the first thing is to do some breathing and pranayama, right? So breathing exercise, see, there's a link between the state of mind and your emotions, right? And the body also. So for example, if you're angry, it reflects in your body as heat. Yeah. You're heated up. Yeah. If you're afraid, if you're fearful, how is your body? It becomes cold and numb. So the state of mind reflects in the body also. So if we use breathing And see, when you're angry, how is your breath? It changes. You're breathing faster. Yeah. When you're sad, you lay down a sigh. So there is a connection between mind, breath and body. And we start with breathing. So with some breathing techniques like pranayama, and we do a special technique called Sudarshan Kriya, which has been acknowledged worldwide. Today Art of Living is doing these programs in more than 156 countries. So with these breathing techniques, people worldwide have seen that they are able to relax. And when the mind is relaxed, you can think straight. All innovation, creativity happens with a relaxed mind.
Yeah. Oh, true. Wow.
Right?
So just by breathing, is it the normal taking a deep breath, or how do you breathe? How do you do like meditation? What kind of techniques do we learn?
So there are many techniques. So we have structured a program around it called the Happiness Program.
Okay.
And in that we teach these techniques. And with this, what happens is that immediate effect is your mind is able to relax and meditate. So what is meditation? See, people have their own concept about meditation. I would say simply, meditation is the art of doing nothing. So you mentioned, when with so much of busyness in life, there's too much to do and mind is always going out. If we say, okay, sit down and close your eyes and do nothing, it becomes a big challenge. Right?
Difficult.
So that we have to learn, and breathing helps in that. So when we do these breathing techniques, our mind is able to relax and we are able to sit with our eyes closed and relax.
Apart from just economical issues right now, there are people who have lost loved ones to, COVID, and they're just grief. And sometimes the way some of us were taught is get up and move and go and just set it aside. Do you think that affects you in the long run negatively, or is it better to take time out and sit in the quiet as you just suggested, or it's better to get up and move? Because if you don't mind, it doesn't matter.
See, if you see in our lives, there is a space for sleep, isn't it?
Yeah.
If we don't sleep every day, how will we be? It's one of the important, it crashes, right? Yeah. So same way we have to achieve a balance in life. We need to do something, we have some ambition, we need to achieve some things in life, we have to attend to our daily work. But if we are able to also take a step back, maybe 20 minutes a day, so not all the time, so it's 20 minutes, just relax and meditate, then it's like, you're putting the kettle back and going forward with a big force. Okay, so that's how it is with meditation.
So I've watched movies about the monk life. Like I read 3 books about the monk who sold his Ferrari, the monk living, and there's so much peace that is depicted at that level of sort of like piety. And then people tend to now attach these meditations, breathing, exercises, yoga to a religion. Do you have to go in the line of that religion for you to practice? Must you practice the religion to get these benefits, or can you just do the meditation, breathing, yoga without that? Does it attach you to a religion?
So first, let's understand, is breathing a religion?
No, everybody breathes.
I'm in Nigeria, I'm breathing Nigerian air. So if you eat pizza, do you become Italian?
No.
So the same way, meditation and yoga are just ancient knowledge. It's not really a part of religion. In India also we have many religions, so that doesn't mean I endorse all of them. It is just a way of life, and you learn from all cultures, and this is one thing which has come from India, and we learn and move ahead. We can be Christian or a Muslim or a Jew or a Hindu, doesn't matter. Right?
Actually, let me come to you concerning the thinking, because I'm a thinker. I think a lot, really deeply. I have a lot on my mind. Is that a problem? Because in our society, you can't but think. I was watching a video a few moments ago. There are real life worries. Electricity, you're trying to buy fuel in the generator, the driver is giving you issues, they have a flat tire, the kids' school fees are due, they want snacks. Your mind is blown up. So how do you find that peace in our reality in Africa?
No, it's not just Africa. These problems are worldwide, Mind is human tendencies are similar everywhere in the world. So when you say mind is so busy and you need to think a lot, the point is my mind in the present or in the past or future? So when you're thinking too much of the future, what happens? there is a lot of anxiety, fear. See, fear and anxiety is about future, not about the past. And when you think too much about the past, what happens? Pain, regret. Anger, regret. Grief. You are not regretting the future, you're regretting the past. You're not angry about the future, you're angry about the past, right? So we need to understand, are we in the present moment? I will have to plan for tomorrow. Definitely, there is some element of planning that needs to be done. If you have to get your house serviced, you need to plan, call somebody and get it done. But is your mind in the present, or it's too feverish about the future, or too angry with the past?
Which is safest?
So safest is be here, right now. And in this moment, see, this is an experience. Whenever you are in this moment, there is no negative emotion. It's a fact. You cannot challenge that. When the mind is in the present moment, you do not have negative emotions and you're free from them and you can be focused. That's where a lot of good creativity happens. Your relationships improve, you know, because you're at peace in this moment.
You know, many times they say live in the moment. And for many people, I think live in the moment is like live your wildest life, you know. So I'm wondering, anytime someone says to me live in the moment, I'm like, oh, you want me to do the wildest thing, yes, unthinkable, you know. But I'm getting from you that live in the moment to just be present as of today.
No,
so,
100%.
Yeah, good. So now I just want to talk about, some people have this story that, oh, when I meditated, I had this issue, I had a pain in my body, but then when I took time to sit in silence and meditated, the pain left. Is that real, or is it just perception?
You should go on the internet and look at some studies. Recently, there was a study published by Yale University in the US, and what they uncovered was that a lot of diseases or pain, so to say, arise in the mind. So when the mind is calm and quiet, a lot of diseases just go away. So 80 to 90% of modern diseases are psychosomatic in nature. So that's why we say a strong mind building is the basis for future, for success and health. So you are healthy when the mind is focused, calm and relaxed.
So yesterday I did a live session and I was talking about that every successful person meditates, like every successful person worldwide. And I broke down meditation into praying, thinking and visualizing. And we've had that conversation amongst ourselves here on the show, maybe not on the show, maybe off show. But I realized that many times when we think we're worrying, and how do we separate the process of thinking in our meditation? Like, are you saying we don't think in the meditation, we try not to put anything in our mind when we're meditating, or we think positive thoughts, or how do you separate that worry from thinking and all of that?
In the realm of mind, effortlessness is the key. See, when you have to build body, you have to do effort. You have to go to the gym, lift weights and all. At the level of mind, you have to let go. The more you say, do this, let's say you tell your mind, sleep now. Will it sleep?
No.
It doesn't listen to direct instructions. So that is the reason we say, in order for people who are not able to sit quiet and meditate, do the breathing exercise first. So they elevate your mind to a state where it's not frustrated, it's focused, it's positive. And then you are able to relax and say, okay, let it go. So no effort, even saying don't think is giving instruction, right? So let it happen. And that's why I said meditation is the act of doing nothing. Means I will not give any instruction to my mind. I'll just sit and relax.
You say final question.
There's a book I would recommend to everybody, The Power of the Now by Eckhart Tolle. I've read it like 5 times. I'm still going to read it again. And it just helps buttress being in the present, so you understand more about it. But I realized that a lot of people do not understand the energies that course through their bodies. And sometimes, because of everything that's happening, and we are not self-aware to pay attention to, why did I get angry? Why am I upset? Sometimes you're upset and you can't really place at the point it started or what somebody said. So how do we get people to, become more self-aware? How do we get people to begin to not just be mindless about their activities, but to pay attention to every detail per time?
So you need to gain more understanding about your own self. As you said, that mind has, the body has these energy centers. So, our body has different energy centers. For example, here between the eyebrows is the seat of anger and awareness. So it has 2 opposing energies. When you're angry, you lose your awareness. And when you're aware, you will not be angry. Same way, like at the heart region, you can have hatred, you can have fear or love. So when we get a little more understanding of our own body, how we are composed, of how we are organized, and how our mind and intellect work, how our ego works, then we are able to find a way to attend to this. And breathing and meditation.
I feel like having a class with you.
Yeah,
you know, we need to bring you back, actually. We have to wrap up here, but even talking to you is peaceful.
Yes.
Like just being, the aura around you is peace.
Yes.
So I think we need more of these kind of classes. Maybe we can enroll. I mean, I don't know if you have classes or something.
Yes.
We can get our viewers, because there are lots of people going through issues. I mean, just this whole week we're talking about people who are in the weight, people who are frustrated about one thing or the other, and they need that strength of mind. So we'd like to bring you another time where you can have this session with us and maybe our viewers. Hope you're willing to do that.
And you should come to our center. We are setting up the Happiness Center in VI.
Oh, really? When?
Yeah, it should be open by end of May.
Oh, please keep us posted. Let us know. We'll definitely come there and check that, because I think we need this sanity around us. We need more breathing exercises, meditation, understanding the power of the mind, understanding that awareness, how to compartmentalize his mind.
Like this place. Yes.
I can understand. I can almost cut through the piece. I can see it. It's almost evidence. I can almost touch it. Thank you so much, actually.
Thank you. Pleasure being with you.
So we'll definitely let our viewers know when this session starts, and then we'll definitely invite people over to join. Let's go on a break. When we come back, I hope I can maintain this peace.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, disturbing news we got in the last 24 hours concerning Baba Ijesha. On the allegations that he defiled a 14-year-old child, which he also, according to the police, had confessed to. So in the papers today, the report said that the mother of the child had installed a CCTV camera in the home when she suspected that he may have been defiling her daughter. And the CCTV was installed, and when he came into the house, he started being with the girl somewhat uncomfortably, and then he moved her to the kitchen. When the mother, from monitoring from her phone, saw that the man had moved from the living room to the kitchen, she ran home, and there she caught them in the act, according to the reports.
Oh, God.
But because the matter is still under investigation, we're not going to focus so much on the act itself. We just want to use that as a basis of the conversation concerning, number one, celebrity influence, the fact that pedophilia is rampant. There are people who defile young people. Now, this man has children, I'm told. So it's not as though he doesn't have adults he has been with. So this is a pedophile who seemed to have been doing this for 7 years, if this is the truth. How do we get around familiar faces around our children, people they look up to as role models? I mean, these are celebrities. You see, I can imagine a mother saying, "Oh, Baba Ijesha," you know, excited that he's around them, trusting because of celebrity. These are all just speculations. But how do we talk about pedophilia in our society today, and how do parents find ways to help protect their children from people like these?
I think we must first acknowledge that there's something called pedophilia, and we must acknowledge the fact that it can come from anyone around us. You know, for a long time I tried to deny that. I used to just feel like I don't want to be paranoid around my children. I don't want to be suspicious of everybody that comes around my child. Like, would this person want to abuse my child? But especially when I heard this story, and there are many other stories out there, it just brings to the fore the fact that there are many sick people around us. And we shouldn't expect our sanity is shared by people around us. And we have a responsibility as a parent to protect our children as much as possible. And the first tool of protection is knowledge. We need to give our children the knowledge and the strength to speak up for themselves. Because if your children have the knowledge of what it means to be defiled and what it means to be abused, and they have the strength to speak up, this attack would have been nipped. A 7-year-old child can ask for food. A 7-year-old child can say, stop.
Yeah.
And the 7-year-old child, even if he can't say stop, he can shout. Yeah. He or she can scream, or he or she can report. So the real problem is our society has largely brought up many children to obey without complaint, not to ask questions. And the result is somebody touches you inappropriately and you feel he's an elderly person. What will I say? How would I say it? Yeah. It starts from there.
Let me go back to the definition of pedophilia so that parents who are watching understand that it's actually a disorder. So pedophilia is a psychiatric disorder in which an adult or an older adolescent experiences a primary or exclusive sexual attraction to children. So it's something somewhat...
It's a mental illness.
It's a mental disorder that maybe they as adults can't even control it themselves. You see?
Yeah, so I think this is more like an eye-opener, that as parents, we need to pay more attention. For a child to have been abused for a very long time and there is no adult that noticed anything. So we don't know the extent of the abuse. We don't know if he had gone inside and come out, and no adult in the environment was able to notice either the child's walking step had changed, or there was a little bleed somewhere, or the child is no longer comfortable when you're trying to bathe them. I think it just opens our eyes that this is the period where we have to start doing deliberate parenting, where we are involved with our children. Because any mother who is really involved would have picked up on, no matter how subtle the signs are, would have picked up on it. And also, I think we need to start understanding that these celebrities, whoever they are, whoever we are first human beings with our different sicknesses and demons that we are fighting in secret. And it's not enough to see somebody on television and make that person your role model. You don't know what that person is going through. We all put our best foot forward. And it's important that we get our children to understand that we are their first role models. You need to look up to somebody, look up to your mommy, look up to your daddy first, before you just start picking on. And also, I don't know how the setting is where a full-grown man comes to the house, just like that, to visit occasionally, and it's not like we're family members or anything, or I'm not there to host you, and you can walk into my house. So there are a lot of things that we need to start paying attention to as parents.
All right, Missy, Mariam.
Yeah. So, you ladies have just said it all. So mine will be questions I have concerning this story, and it will be, what relationship did he have with the family members? Is he an uncle, a trusted uncle? Is he a trusted friend? Because sometimes we know what to tell our children. Our children also have heard us speak to them about being careful, protect your special areas, don't let anyone touch you. But then, what do you do with this uncle that is so loving, that my parents love, that is well respected, And then there's a way that we bring up children in Nigeria and in Africa. And Tope, you touched on that, which is you just obey your elders. There's a way you carry yourself. Whatever they tell you, however they tell you, you just say yes. And I would never forget, for me, there was a time, I was a teenager then, and my auntie used to have these pastors, 2 young pastors come to the house, and they will come to talk the word of God. But there's one of them, every time he would come and she's not around, Maria, come here again. How tall are you? Are you sure you're taller than me? And he would stand beside me. Every time the same thing, like he wanted to just be beside me. And for me, I was just raised to obey your seniors, be quiet, whatever it is that you have. You never show anger or displeasure, just wait, and then you can talk to someone else about it. So one particular day, he came again, Mariam, come on, this is well-respected person. And I said to him, please, it's enough. Every day you're asking me my height. You already know what my height is. I'm confused. Why is it that you're always wanting to just pull me to your side? He said to me, you're very bold. Your auntie would never, ever believe you said this to me. And it's the truth, because I'm sure if she's watching, this will be the first time ever.
You never
mentioned it to anybody, because there's that thing of, you always feel that you're already wrong when it involves an adult. You will be the one in the wrong. In fact, it will not be about what the person did, but how did you talk to this person? you too, there's a way you should have said it. Do you understand? And eventually it came about that this person got someone pregnant. You know. So it is important in teaching our children about their special parts and special things. Also, we need to make them comfortable enough to be able to speak up when they notice something and not feel like they'll be blamed for it. Yeah.
Let me go on a break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still sharing experiences of pedophilia. The fact that adults who defile young children. And I mean, this is something that we still need to discuss with experts, some psychiatrists and psychologists who can help understand how people come to this point. But I think what is key first is to show that it actually exists, because you'll be surprised that there are people like us, educated parents, who always block their minds to the possibility that this is happening in their homes. There are people that I have met who have male friends or uncles or cousins around the house with young girls. I mean, I know somebody that I actually asked her, like, are you comfortable having this person here? Oh, no, it's nothing wrong. It's just my husband's cousin. I'm thinking, are you okay with him picking up this girl every single day from school, takes her to his own place, his own workshop, before he now brings her home? She's like, no, because I'm not available. And I'm thinking, you would think that she'd be smarter than that. So, but again, we also don't want to feed into this negativity. We don't want the children to think that we are. So how do you draw that line between what is right and what is not right?
So for me, because I've had many experiences, close calls to this as a child, and I think I was more vulnerable to people like that because I was a quiet child. So maybe they thought this one wouldn't say much. If you had tried my sister, the whole world would have heard, you know. Immediately. So, and so because of that, in raising my children, I would say something to, like, people around me, you know, to keep an eye on. Like, it didn't even cross our minds to think this way. And I understand, because it was never your reality. So it would not even occur to you that something like that can be a possibility. So, of course, for me, it had to start from, and I used to say, I don't know if I've said it here before, I used to say, I don't want to have a girl child. And then I just don't want to have a girl child. Everyone was like, why? But because of what I'd been through, I just thought, if you bring this girl child into this world, all the things she would have to face, and all the ways I would feel like I did not do my job because I was not able to catch it on time. So for me, it would be that, because what has happened for me is that I think I've gotten to where I have some balance. You know, I'm lucky to be surrounded by people who sort of understand where I'm coming from and where I'm going to. And all I've done really for my children is I have empowered them. They speak up to me. So first of all, they're allowed to disagree with me, to tell me, so they understand that with adults, if you do not understand something, you can disagree. You're allowed to come and tell mommy what someone did. And when I call them and I'm speaking to them, like you call an adult and a child, the way we were raised, when the adult is speaking, you just keep quiet until the adult is done. But this one, when the adult is done, you're allowed to say your part and would give you the same attention and time to say your own side of the story. So for me, it's empowering our children to be able to speak up for themselves. But also, that is still, you also pray that someone who is even closer or more trusted does not betray you.
I was sharing during the break that as a child, because these scars stay with you for life. I mean, I remember when I came back home, I went for a family function. It was my first time out at that family function in Lagos Island. And there was this family party. I think I've shared the story before on television, where there was a guy I saw. Immediately I saw him. He came over to come and say hello to me, and my body started shaking. My body started literally, I felt heat in my body. I was trembling, and I was wondering what was wrong with him. Maybe because of my car accident, the memory just disappeared or something, but I just knew there was something about this guy. He came to me, the way he was looking at me was very, very suspicious. And he was looking at me, you're all grown up, oh, how are you doing? And I kept shaking. I couldn't understand why I was shaking, but you see, when we talk about these things, I know there was something with this guy. I just can't remember exactly.
Recognized him.
My subconscious recognized him, but I couldn't put the fact to it. So the point is, these scars are there for life. And to avoid our children going through this, we need to pay more attention to what they are doing, where they are at per time, and who is around them.
Yeah. I also want to appeal that we put certain systems in place. So, for instance, I know that people who are into these sort of diseases have family members who know.
Yes, thank you.
Who, because they don't want people to hear that their brother or their husband is a pedophile, they keep quiet. And then this person goes outside and starts abusing and defiling other people's children. If you trace it back to the family, it started a long time ago where some family members were privy to it. I think we need to be in a position where we can support these people. First of all, we need to understand it's a mental illness. It's not, they can't help themselves. Now sickness, they sick with that. Now madness with that. They can't help themselves. So if you understand that and you have a family member who you have noticed is always, a full-grown man is always with small children, you will suspect. And when you get them, please bundle them to go and find help.
Thank you for taking us there, because there are two stories that we read about. One, where it's a woman, her husband was widowed, then she remarried. The new husband she married was defiling her daughter. She knew about it, she kept quiet.
You see?
Daughter got suicidal.
Oh my God.
Second story, a young woman, I think I've shared with you guys, a woman who, her son was rubbing her ears as a baby, and she was enjoying it, she didn't stop him, and the thing was going as the boy was her own child.
Yes.
So she's a single mother, she was alone in the house with the child. So the guy would be touching her ears and touching her armpits, and the young boy, growing up, she didn't stop him, she was enjoying the soothing feeling. As they grew older, they started touching each other in their private areas. Before you know, she started defiling her own child. Her mother walks in at some point, catches them, bundled his grandson, took the boy with her. But she's now saying, I miss my son. I want my son back, because she's been defiling that she's sick. She's been defiling that child because of that. The touching he was touched as a baby, because we're all mothers have that. There's a phase where your child is touching your ears, touching your hand because they want to sleep, but there's a time when you stop it. This one didn't stop it. She was enjoying it till the child became a teenager.
So I feel that like that's why I said that it's a sickness and we should acknowledge it. One. Number two, there is no, it does not, family members are used to hiding things. Like when things happen, I don't want shame to come to my family. So
secrets.
This is a secret, we are going to keep it. And sometimes when we are keeping it, we don't understand the impact on many other people around us and how it will spread. And the particular story, because something similar to this one, I know of someone who's, the girl suicidal, she's been defiled by her father, and her mother knew about it. And her mother said that, I had other children before you, I was happily married before you, you came in and you turned my husband into a pedophile. And so the mother blames the child for what is happening. And many times we blame the children who are victims and survivors of this thing for what did they do, what did they wear. And so we must channel the conversation right, so that parents and family members who see these things are not shocked into silence or misled into blaming the child, but address the adult. Whoever is older in such relationship is the one responsible, and we should help them seek help. Like, report it to the hospital.
Yeah.
Our doctors are empowered enough to know what to do when somebody says this person is doing this. What's the next line of action? Report to the hospital, report to the police station. Yes, we don't want to report our family members to the police station, but it is beyond you. Because you need to protect your child who's been abused. And other people's children who might get abused by this person. There are drivers that the parents know that is abusing, and then you let the person become a driver. And, you know, like the ecosystem of this abuse goes far and wide. So anyone who finds out there is an abuser around you, it is beyond you. You owe it as a responsibility to your society and to your neighbors and to your environment to report these cases, number one.
Let me take this call. Good morning. You're live. Thanks for calling. Hello, good morning.
My name is Yenia Janaku. I'm calling from the UK.
Good morning. You're live, Mr. Janaku. Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. When I heard this news yesterday, then I said to myself, it's high time people sit down and start doing character evaluation, because people don't, sometimes you just keep wondering, is it that they don't know what they are doing is not right? So that's the one we've heard, because the woman was able to install CCTV camera. What about other ones that are not able to do things like that, that are not able to, they don't have facilities to things like that? This one might not be the first one he's done. I'm not judging him. There are other people like that around us. There's nobody who can even trust, like, okay, look after my daughter, let me quickly go to the market. It is that bad. So it's not even about our men alone. What about women? What about things we do that we think nobody's looking at us? Can we just start doing things right even when no one is there? Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you so much. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll take more calls and take some tweets. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. I think we have a caller on this. Good morning. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay, my name is Craig. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Okay, increase the volume a bit. I can't hear you, Craig. Go ahead, please.
Okay, my name is Craig. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, and now, as regards to this issue, there's something I want to really touch about that most people haven't really said. It's actually what is called child sexualization. In the way that most parents, the way they dress up their little ones in appearance of an adult. And sometimes they do not know how effective this can play on an adult male. So you go to a parent's house, you see a child of about 4 years being dressed up like an adult with all the makeup, with all the latches, with all the mini skirts and everything or such like that. So the parent, that might just feel okay, normal to her. But psychologically, as a man, if you don't have that maybe self-consciousness and that self-control, you might be looking at that child as an appearance of an adult, and who knows what can play in such a man's mind to move on to the next level of establishing what his thoughts have created for him. That's my contribution.
Thank you, Craig.
Please, let's just address
Let's address it.
This is...
I know you need to calm down.
The piece is still here.
Let us hear where he's coming from. So we're part of the advocates of saying, don't ever judge a person by what they're wearing. And we're all on the same page on that. What he's saying, pedophiles see these children differently. So they are sick. So even if you wear, so what I'm hearing him saying is that if a child wears something that a pedophile sees, maybe that could trigger them.
No, you don't say they are pedophiles. Brian, he said, no, let me quote him well. Let me quote what he said. That some parents dress their children like adults with makeup and adult kind of dressing. And we don't know how men are looking at those children and seeing them as adults and reacting to them. Such men are pedophiles. So that's what I want him to understand. Craig, you need to understand that if a man sees a young child and is attracted, that man is sick man. And any such men watching us, it is a sickness, brother. Go and get treated.
So let me add something to that. So those other men who, defile the babies on diaper, please, how sexy are these babies looking?
Thank you.
They defile little ones, 2 years, 3 years, 6 months old on diaper. So it's not about the child, it's about the person, and that sickness.
No, and for me,
the
other part is that every time we talk about defilement, rape, and things like that, we bring up the conversation about the dressing of a minor. Victim. That is a different topic. Sexualization of children is a different topic. It is not the reason for rape. It's not justification for defilement.
100%.
It's not justification for rape. So when you want to have that conversation of how a person should be dressed, it's different. Do not bring it to the conversation of rape, of defilement. If there's nothing that justifies it. And sometimes when you find yourself maybe asking this kind of having this sort of conversation. I think what I want to say is men have this sort of conversations, and some of them come really from a place of ignorance. It's important that they understand what we're talking about, and when they discuss amongst themselves, they educate each other.
Thanks for bringing that clarity. Let me take this call from Joseph. Joseph, are you there? Joseph, you're live. Go ahead, please. Don't listen to the TV. Listen to me. I'll have to disconnect that call.
So Mariah, I'm happy because and the reason we all jumped on Craig, and it's not personal, Craig. The point you made is because many people we don't have enough information out there, and we think like we're in the information age, but a lot of people are not captured. They don't know these things. if any man finds himself attracted to a young child, that man needs to get medical help. And if anyone around, if a man around you is having a conversation about how a young girl's shape is, then you should begin to suspect that.
So I want us to
differentiate
immediately. Based on what Mariam said, it's very important because there are issues of sexualization, which we'll address differently, but we don't want to mix it with this issue of pedophilia because they are two different things.
Very, very different.
The sickness, this is a disorder that an adult has on a child. So it's important that we make that clarity. Now, the other part is the ignorance. We'll not discuss the ignorance of families, the ignorance of even the children on this matter, because we are very trusting of adults.
As a society.
We're trusting of society, we're trusting of everybody such that. So how, just like you said, how do we raise them differently? We don't want our children to be disrespectful because we realize that respect is a good part of our culture. We want that. But at the same time, how can our children have the confidence to be able to say, Mommy, this man touched me in a certain way? I had that experience where my child told me, XYZ told me to sit on his lap. I tried to make it an issue, and then started apologizing, like, sorry, Yoko, I'm sorry, I felt that maybe she mistakenly, because the truth is that we don't want to wrongly accuse people when we feel like maybe it wasn't their fault. So mothers get into that issue of, I don't want to come across that I'm being overzealous in this matter.
I don't care if I am being overzealous. I am a lioness. If you come for my children, I will show my teeth. Now, my job is to protect my children for as long as I can with all the tools that I have. And that is me giving them confidence. See, I don't care how you're going to feel tomorrow to say, they just accuse me and stuff like that. If it's wrong, well, this is what the child has said. I think children need to understand that their parents will always have their back. I always tell my children that no matter what it is, just tell me. You know your mommy, Abi, she's a lioness. She will bounce in there and deal with that person. So I personally give them that confidence. Their father gives them that confidence. I think I've shared it here when my daughter was still in primary school, and then she is big. She's very big for her age. If she doesn't tell you her age, you wouldn't know. And then the teacher says, come and sit on my lap. And she looked at the teacher and walked away. Said, come back here. She did not. Immediately, I got home. She said, Mommy, do you know what my teacher said I should do? I should come and sit on his lap. I took the matter because I'd already prepared their minds that if you see these little things, tell me. I had that experience. Another friend also was telling me that, why do you constantly dress her in trousers? I said, because I grew up in a very vicious environment where everybody wanted to take advantage, and the trousers and jeans, protected me. And she naturally likes it. Yeah, she naturally likes it.
Let me take this call from Reverend Oladi, lives in holding for a while. Reverend, are you there?
Yes, I'm here with you, Mariah.
Yeah, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Mariah.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, all the friends.
Yes.
I'm a fan of your program.
Thank you, sir.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
It's a wonderful opportunity for me to call. You see, on the issue you are discussing, I quite agree with all your views. And I want you to know that, like the proverbial K-legged man, they said the load on your head wobbles. He said you are looking up, you are not looking down. The perspective that we are not looking down to is how some of these people look at what they are doing. Some look at it from spiritual angle. They believe it has some ICT. Religious-wise, haven't you heard the former governor of Kogi State who married a 13-year-old, 14-year-old girl? Have you not heard of it? You see, from the religious perspective, from the mindset perspective, we need to address the reality that all those who share that thought, they are misplaced. That you are having an affair with a little child can never bring any fortune to you. It can never bring any good luck to you. You are destroying a life, and it should be seen in that perspective. But some people have a real belief that it will bring them something. Some people believe at times that it cures hate. I've had it. They believe it's a cure for hate. And they keep looking for victims who do all these things too.
Fantastic.
So
Thank you.
It's very disturbing. And the earlier we address this from every angle, both the religious leaders, This is something we need to preach again in our churches, in our mosques, so that people can have right understanding.
Yeah. Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you.
Reverend touched on some really, really deep areas because people use it for prosperity,
Rituals.
Rituals.
You say that a young child hasn't sinned, so there's a purity to their life, and that intercourse with them will bring success too. And there's an ideology around it. So he's saying that we should deal with the reasons some people do these things, that some feel it cures AIDS, as in
the mentality.
Like, I want to go back to a country that used to do that with babies, specifically because they thought that it would cure them of AIDS.
I want to go back to what BC said, because there are mothers like BC, lioness, but there are mothers like me that we don't come across as lioness. So it's important that we help mothers like me whose personality is not somewhat, I don't want to say aggressive, it's not somewhat assertive or aggressive. Because there are people like us that make that mistake. We want the best for our children. When that kind of situation happens, we try to find reason. Well, maybe he didn't mean that way because you want peace. Maybe he didn't mean that way. Maybe you thought he wanted you to sit on his lap. Maybe he didn't. We rationalize it, not knowing that we're actually hurting the child, because the child feels like, so mommy, I came to you, and then you begin to lose trust. So are we now saying that in that situation, every mother must be a lioness?
Like you, I'm not lioness. I will not fight.
Yes,
I won't go
fight dirty. Yes.
I won't go and meet the person and make it.
So how do people like us solve that problem?
For me, I would say I would sit with my child. I would make my child understand that you've done well. Right. And you've done well, and I really appreciate. So my focus is, and I see it this way. It's like when they say your husband cheats and then you go and fight the babe outside. You don't have any issue with them. No, you have issue with your own child. That's number one. So first, I extol my child. I give my child the confidence necessary to continue to speak up concerning the issue. What if that had happened? Number one. Number two, I would report the situation.
To the police.
I would have a conversation with the person to understand. Do you understand what you are going to do? Like, when you're going to try to do this.
What if it had happened?
If he says that, no, but you know what I'm trying to say?
But there are different ways.
Where there are bloodlines, you're not sure.
You're not sure. Your child is saying the person touched me. And the man says, my hand just brushed.
Let me explain to you what I do.
I want different scenarios so that mothers with different temperaments know how to deal with it. That's what we're trying to achieve.
Let me just make BC. I think what we're saying is, there are some times that there are some people that the way they are raised, they play with children inappropriately, but for them, they don't realize. People that say to your child, my wife. People that will see your baby and pat on the head, and then they hit the bomb. Do you understand? So things like that. So people like them, BC, would go straight at the person.
Please,
how dare you?
Don't play with my child like that.
Even though the person is coming across. So for me, so those who are very close to my house, they already know what the rules are. So when my child says, you try to put the hand on my lap or try to put me on my lap, and we come and meet you, me and my child, you are not upset because you already understand what the rules are. And you look to my child that you were trying, and you can then use the opportunity to explain to me and to that child. I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. I mistakenly touched. I'll be very careful next time. And that conversation has happened with people who are close to me. Therefore, people on the outside, no, please, we don't say that. Don't call my daughter your wife. She's not your wife. She's a little child. To the point that my child is able to come back to me and say, this person keeps calling me baby. Mommy, please speak to him. He keeps calling me baby. And
let me take this call. I've been holding for a while. Good morning. Are you there? Hello? Oh, did I lose the caller? Hello? You're live. Are you listening? I hope the person is there. Okay, let's take a few tweets since the person is there.
So me, you can go ahead with the tweets. Me, I start by screaming, because I knew the sort of battles that I fought growing up as a child. And one of the things that saved me was my father was vicious and everybody feared him. And so because of that fear, they knew that there was a particular friend of his who would always come when he's not around and would want to touch me. And I told him, I said, I will tell my daddy, and you know my daddy will finish you. And that was when he stopped. And I didn't have to tell my dad. So I grew up in that, okay, this is my territory. These are my children. And please do not mess with them because you have. And I'm not going to say because you are related to us, I don't care about if it needs to scatter. If that piece needs to scatter, let it scatter. My children come first.
Okay, let me take Benga. Benga, are you there?
Yes,
You're live. Go ahead, please.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show, Benga.
Yeah, thank you for what I heard this morning you were discussing. See, as a matter of fact, anybody that defied a minor should be killed. I'm telling you the truth.
These are cute.
Anybody, I have a daughter who is just 14. I cannot imagine someone else. I heard that a man defied that my 14-year-old girl. I will kill the person. I will personally murder the person.
Wow.
It's on effort. Why should you? There are a lot of mature women who are even looking for someone to sleep with them. Why looking for younger ones? Thank you. Good morning.
Mr. Gwenga,
calm down. The killing,
the killing part is not legal. I understand the emotion of that. Totally, I hear you. Many men will probably say the same thing, but let us also abide by the rules.
It's painful. You don't understand.
I get you.
You don't understand the fatherhood. I think trying to bring up a child to be a responsible woman, a leader in the future. And someone, you're a useless man, someone that you are people are saying the person is sick. The person is not supposed to be a human being if you don't know. Yes, you're supposed to go back to zoo or go back to our ancestors.
Thank you, Gwenga. There are certain countries, I think they call it crime of passion. I think some no, I know. I'm just trying to say that there are some this one is different. So I'm saying that in this kind of situation, maybe they get a manslaughter or something. But I understand where fathers get that passionately angry. But the truth is that it's always important we should report to the law and ensure that the law takes its course.
That after we report to the law and the law is taking its course, the family does not go behind to beg and then you say, for peace sake, and you take it out of, you settle out of court. Because this further empowers the perpetrators. They know that you will not want to take it far.
Let's
and
take
people are not able to come out.
We need to set boundaries. I think that we need to set boundaries around our children, within our household, with domestic staff. Let them know this thing. Don't do this. This is not going to happen. If it happens, I'm going to deal with you like this. The driver knows. We don't have this connection with our drivers as we should. You should let your driver know that there is something called pedophilia. I don't watch around my children. This is not. I'm not suspecting you, but I don't like it. And I've told my children to be like this.
That conversation.
Also, you must have that conversation.
Right? Set boundaries. You're the driver?
Oh, yes. Set boundaries around your children. Some drivers don't know. So let the driver know. Let the driver know that he's also watching everybody. Let your house girl be watching the driver. Let everybody be watching each other. Set the boundary around your children.
In teaching boundaries as well, you need to teach the children boundary between themselves because that's where they will learn from. Do you understand? So it's not, they understand that this is my space. Even from my brother, even from my sister, they understand that this is my space. And there are people. Yeah, no, I'm not talking of even gender. I'm just saying, even as they're boys, all boys, they must understand that this belongs to me. No one else, not even my brother or my sister, has the permission to invade my
All right, let me take this call from David from OPIC. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please, David.
Yes, I'd like to. I was just called yesterday. My first time caller.
Welcome to the show.
On that channel. On the topic you were discussing yesterday as regards, having delays and giving birth and all that. But then again, let me move straight to this one we are discussing today. And I'd like to stand by the lady sitting next to Tope.
Biajulu, yes.
We lost that.
So we lost that call.
Okay, I think it's a lion as well.
It says, help has come. Says, a man told me he prayed not to have female children and to train his boys well because he saw his father defile many minors and his female friends in their neighborhood while growing up. You know, there's something that we used to see, like children, older men dating, like in their 40s, 50s, dating 16-year-olds, relationship with 15, 16, 17-year-olds, and because we feel like because the 16, 17-year-olds are almost grown up, or you see a 50-something-year-old having a relationship with a 20-year-old, we should also flag those things because there are also things you should watch out for. And like the man said, that the Reverend said, some say I'm cleaning my blood out. Those statements, we should also take them out. So that we don't, when you say it, we are encouraging societally that if you can afford it, you can sleep with a younger person, and that way you are purifying
but there
your
are
blood.
cultures that permit child marriage. So if we are going to disturb people who are having relationship with 16, 17, what about people that marry 11, 12? Let me take
Oluwayemisi. Oluwayemisi, are you there?
If it is in marriage, really, but not
Hello?
filing.
Hello, Oluwayemisi, are you there? I think our phone lines are having issues. Yes, BC, tweets for us, please.
Yes, Harold Osage says, at times we need to back up and observe from a different level of mind and understand that the moment you react, you are at the same level of consciousness that keeps you connected to the same reality. I think this is for the other message. Then, yes, mind over matter.
Okay. So now, I mean, we're going to be wrapping up very soon, and it's important that we leave some few nuggets for parents. And I think we've said it very clearly that parents must pay more attention. Yes. Seek help. If you know somebody, because whether you like it or not, people around these pedophiles have an idea. Yeah. That this boy is doing this, or this man is doing this, or my husband is doing this, or there's my stepfather. Seek help. There are professionals helping people psychologically and psychiatrists helping people in this disorder now. Seek help, because the truth is that this leaves a scar that affects the child forever. And it can even affect her even when she gets married in future. So these are things that we must pay attention to. Also, another thing we've learned so far is how to ensure that parents, mothers, listen and empower our children to speak up. It's important we empower our children to speak up at every point in time. And there are different temperaments. There's a busy temperament, there's a Tope temperament, there's a Mara temperament. We're all different, but there are different ways of solving the same problem. Yes, you don't want to cause problem, we don't want to cause a bigger issue, but ensure that in anything we are doing, that child is empowered enough to speak up and know that continually he or she will be listened to in any situation. Let me take a few calls. I think we have one more call there. Dayo, are you there? From Ilorin.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning, you're live. Go ahead, please. You can increase the volume, please.
This is my first time calling.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
I really enjoy you guys' show. It's a very, very good show.
Thank you, sir.
And on the topic that you guys are talking about, it has a lot to do with men more than women. So men feel like when you are protecting your daughter, so many things you are overprotecting.
I like that.
If any mechanic or anybody walks in your household talking about, oh, your girl is grown, I can see the way she's working, that will be the last time you come in our house. Don't let nobody talk about your girl, even your boss. Nobody steal nobody's life. You need to be in jail or even say that. Not your daughter.
Well, fathers have a really huge responsibility in this whole thing.
Yes, of course. May we talk a bit about the victim? So if, peradventure, you have a child who has gone through this, it's very important that you do not leave that child in neglect. They need to find therapy for that child. This instance now where this child has been defiled for a number of years is going to take a very long-term therapy process to help this child even, get back to her normal. And the truth is she may never get back to her normal self, But this is the time where we should support. Family members, friends, and all should really support.
They need more love. They need more
support.
Let me just add to that. Yes, go ahead.
Yes. So there's something that happens very much in our own community in Nigeria where the victim is blamed. So the mother and the family members, please, I just want to put this out there. Do not ever mention to that victim that you too, why did you? How did you? It's your fault. Do not ever do that. You need to support, as she said, love, and let her understand that that person that did it to you, that person is the bad person that did it to you. And then secondly, I wanted to also add that some people would notice that their children have these pedophilic tendencies from when they're teenagers and they're growing up. That's the time also that you should find a way to take your child to get proper help. We don't want them growing up into adults, they're abusing other people's children or abusing their children as well. And then we're talking about a pandemic. So please, pay attention to both those who are likely to be victims and those who are likely to be perpetrators.
There's another part of the puzzle that we've not talked about. Yes?
There's a spiritual part and there's a physical, psychological therapy part. Many times when people are victims and they survive this thing, we focus on the spiritual, pray for them, but some of these pastors are not equipped enough to give them the emotional therapy process.
It's not their job.
So when they finish doing the spiritual, going to meet pastor, they should also take them to see a medical doctor that is a psychologist that will help them through the healing process as well.
Sometimes it's not deliverance that you need. You need help. And there's another part of this puzzle that we've not talked about. Like the need for a father's love. You see, when a girl child has that father's love so much where it's part of her DNA, there's nothing any man out there wants. Is it sweet? Is it conversation?
We don't want.
They have this confidence that comes over them. That that experts have said that, listen, the father's love is such that a girl gives a girl child confidence that they can even speak to anybody and tell them confidently that you're not allowed to talk to them.
That is good, right? But imagine how bad it will be when that person
father
is
now the perpetrator. Yeah, but
that's why for those sort of people, it's usually very hard for them to speak up.
Yeah.
Because not only is your father has betrayed your trust, your mother also is found in a position where it's either she does not believe you or this is the end of everything. Like the story you gave us about the mother who felt, this child, you've destroyed everything.
Let me take this call if I come to UBC. Hello, good morning, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're live, go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you for your program.
Thank you, sir.
Such a program is on. You see, those men doing such things, I don't have anything to qualify them that you see they are mad. They are mad men. How are you on earth? A young girl, I don't know, like the other caller said that you will kill. No, you don't have to kill such a man. Just cut his leg. Cut one of his leg and then hand him over to the police.
It's painful.
It's sad that we are facing all this. People are talking of how to eat, how to find jobs. Some a man will go and decide instead of what this is sad in this country.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know. I have a teenage daughter, man. Like the other caller said.
Don't even dare.
I got that. Very important.
Don't you thank you, Mr. Bakari.
I know that there are some women
that father's love was what helped me. Because I know that there's this adage they say, my father was a bad guy. So he could tell from a distance if your eyes are not clean towards him. He's the only girl. So he had no other job than to protect me. So once he notices, if as much as you do like this, you will stop passing that compound. He will beat you up. He was vicious. So that father's love that I had gave me confidence.
Yes.
And so when all those men, the elderly men kept, finding ways to do something, I knew that if I mentioned it to my father, I had his backing to put their house on fire. Right. So it sort of gave me confidence. And I'm working towards it every day to ensure that I give, especially my husband, giving the daughters, we have to, that sort of confidence, know that your father can do anything for you. So that you have that confidence to speak up when anything happens.
So we have to wrap up, but I think that I'd like to end up with a few tweets. I'm sure our viewers have been trying to
but also
one or
we've
two
been
things.
mentioning men a lot. Women have been found to do things like that.
Yeah, I said it earlier that there was a woman that actually, she was defiling her own child because the child was sleeping on her bed. She was a single mother. There was no father figure in the house. But just her and this
boy. There are other maids as well. Maids that do that as well.
That is so true.
Many maids, such
children,
the boys appropriately, and many men will tell you they lost their virginity to the housemates and the uncle and the aunties at home. So we also need to protect.
That's a topic for a different day. I think we need to talk about this one where our helps are defining our sons, 2-year-old, 3-year-old,
and daughters,
sisters.
Hey, Father, wow,
be vigilant.
Be vigilant. So be a suspicious woman. It's better to be a suspicious woman than to be a woman who trusts in everything.
At least when it comes to your children.
Okay, that's all we have to go. Go ahead.
No, I don't have
okay. That's all we can take on the show today. I hope you've learned a few things. These those kind of shows that sometimes we need a psychologist, psychiatrist, but we'll bring them for the boys. It's important for us to first of all spell out the issues. Let Nigerians know that these things are happening, so that they can begin to pay attention in their own various homes.
That's the word. Pay attention.
All right. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. Bye for now.